was a rookie cop when my brother committed suicide. He was one of my older siblings, but we were very close. He died in another state, and I had a lot of guilt back then about not recognising the signs. His remains were in bad shape by the time he was discovered, so it was a closed coffin service. About a week after he died, I was back at work one night and my partner and I see a pimp pistol whipping one of his girls. I jump out and the pimp sees me. The foot chase was on. I was running after him, gun in hand, and he cuts through a narrow corridor under a building that leads to a courtyard in the middle. Right before I reach the courtyard, I hear "It's okay" in my dead brother's voice. I hit the courtyard and the guy is against the wall pointing a gun at my head. He squeezes the trigger twice. I froze for a millisecond and then started beating him in the head with my revolver. Till this day, I don't know why I didn't just shoot him, cuff him, and walk him back to the street to find my partner. I tell my partner about him squeezing the trigger, but not the voice I heard. We unload the gun, .32 revolver right there, and 2 bullets have strike marks on them. I take the gun to the lab for testing, tell the tech the story. He puts the 2 bullets with strike marks back in the gun and shoots it into the test tank, both bullets fired. I used to work doing maintenance at historic properties. There was a historic house museum I worked at when it was open to the public. It was part of a whole landmark site. There was a visitor centre with offices, and then the house was about half a mile up a dirt road in a wooded area. Sometimes I worked with a crew, but there were a lot of times I was there alone. One winter day when it was really cloudy and dark, I was working alone to get ready to replace some electric work on the exterior of the house. I went inside and turned off the circuit to the whole property and I tested it. It was off. I locked the doors and went outside to work. After about an hour, I got down from my ladder and started walking around the house, and one of the lights inside the house turned on. I started to freak out, but thought that maybe someone was playing a joke on me. I called the visitor centre on my walkie-talkie and confirmed that the only other person who was working that day was still there and hadn't left, and that all the keys to the house were present and accounted for. That's when I freaked out and ran the half mile up to the office. I made my co-worker come back with me to check out what was going on, but when we got to the house, the light was off again, but the bulb was still warm. All the doors were still locked and the circuit was still off. It still gives me shivers to this day.
Number 3.
When I was a teenager, I had 2 really intense dreams one night. The first one was about an online friend of mine calling me to say she'd broken up with her boyfriend, and I sang a few lines of Seal's Don't Cry to her over the phone. The second dream was finding a real life friend's dead body floating in her bathtub. I didn't think anything of it up until I logged online that evening, and the online friend came online to tell me her boyfriend broken up with her. I immediately asked if I could call her and she said no. I remember thinking that it meant something, like I could change it. Not long after, my phone rang and it was my real friend from the dream calling me. I was completely freaked at this point, but talked to her normally. She was just talking about school and stuff, up until I realised I heard a splash in the background. I asked her, "Are you in the tub?" And when she said yes, I felt like my heart had stopped. I asked her, "What did you do?" She didn't answer me right away, and then after a very long pause, she told me she'd taken an entire bottle of pills, chased it with mushrooms, and then some vodka. She'd gotten scared waiting for it to hit her, so she called me to hear someone's voice. I hung up and called 911. By the time they got there, she was unconscious, but still alive. Today, she's a mum to a beautiful little girl, and she's doing fine.